Greetings and welcome back to Smartwatch Ticks. We are back with another dose of this hot new technology called ECG+PPG, health, fitness, heart rate, blood pressure. A lot of good words I can throw at you. And it's in this band here. Yeah, this has got the new technology that uses electric plates. In this case, one back here, two here in the front, that lets us monitor some of our health biometrics. So what exactly is it? It's a fitness band, comes to us from Banggood, and it's called the KCASA G20. Got an OLED screen, and yes, ECG, electrocardiogram, PPG, not even going to try to pronounce it, blood pressure health monitor. Yeah, inside this little goodie, we have, let's look at the spec sheet on it. We have a master chip, sensor chip, all these things. The TI-ECG chip, we're going to talk about that in a minute. It is totally waterproof to IP67. Yes, you can swim in it, shower in it, do whatever you'd like. And it has special features of doing the blood pressure and heart rate, both with PPG and ECG technology. All right. More things here. Other functions are listed. Going on down, we've got a little battery in it, but it lasts a long time, several days. It says you can use it for 10 days and standby is 20, and it'll save data for 3 months. Okay, good stuff. So let's talk about this for just a second. We've already done a very extensive review of a similar type of a band right here. This was the T6. Now, the T6 looked like this. You have two plates on the back, a button in the front. This one, two buttons or plates in the front and one in the back. So slightly different approach. And this one, the T6, used this little goodie for charging. So what is the brand new G20 use? Well, let me show you. Another piece of paper, and I pop off. Wow, it's a removable band. At least one side is. And you can plug it directly into the USB port. Is that true? Can I do that? Which end is it? Looked like it was the one opposite the... Sure enough, there it is. Easy charging. So you can see how technology is shifting. We're getting away from these charging plates into a self-contained unit that you can charge simply by taking the band off. Here's the manual for the G20. Gives you some indication of how to operate this. There's a QR code you can scan to bring in the app. And you're about to see there's actually several apps you can use that work with this band. More information about the different things you see on the different pages as you go through, touching the sweet spot, which is just above those two plates on the front of the band. And some more. Your heart rate, blood pressure, measured by the PPG only. And warranty information. And that's the manual. All right, let's take the cover off of here. And let's give it a look. If it's set up, it should turn right on, and there it is. It's got the display. Again, it's a little bit dim on these. So it's better used indoors than it is outdoors. But it goes through the same thing. You have step count, calories burned, distance walked, the ECG and PPG monitor, your overall PPG heart rate, PPG blood pressure, temperature, messaging if you have any text messages, find your phone, and then the model number information. And you're back to time. Press and hold, and you can change to an analog watch face instead of a digital one. And it cycles through all of them. When you come to this point, if you have it on so the plate's touching your arm, like so, and you either touch 2 fingers here or put your finger straight across the plates, both of them like that, you'll be able to get an ECG measurement, and you can see it on a chart. Let's do that. To do the measurement, we need an app on your phone, and there's actually 4 of them we can choose from. They're all from the same manufacturer. They do exactly the same thing. They just look different. FitLive, Wear Heart, Go Heart, and Hero Band 2 are the 4 different apps, and they just look a little bit different in the layout. Here's the opening screen of a summary of all of your stuff in terms of steps and sleep and your overall PPG heart rate. That's from the diode. And then this page that does the ECG calculations looks like this. However, if you like blue, you have a blue theme. Same thing. If you go with something a little fancier with color screens, you can have this and that kind of a layout, or this one gives you a different kind of a look. All pretty much the same. And what's really fun, each of them could tether separately to a different band if you wanted to do that, which is kind of what I've done here. FitLive, this one, is set up to work with this one, the G20. Now, I'm going to set this down. I'm going to hit measure. You can read that. It talks about for accuracy to be quiet, try not to talk, so forth. But we're just doing a test. I'm going to confirm that. Now, with that set up there, I can start the measurement. It gives a countdown. I'm going to put my 2 fingers on either side. Try to get it so you can see the screen. Now, the flickering you're seeing from the band is not really happening. That is an interface issue with the camera beat frequency and the refresh rate on the band. But the ECG you see at the top is coming from these electrodes, and the bottom PPG is coming from the diodes. And the technology built into this is allowing for an integrated solution to come up with a final value of 125/80 and a heart rate of 73. And no anomalies in the ECG. I can confirm that. If I go back here now to my analysis, there we go. Now, you see, this is today's report. I can click on it. It'll load the information on it, and I can start playback. And there you can actually see the waveform calculation as it was happening, and the 2 together. Now, this whole computation is a bit complex, what goes on inside of these, and in the review on the other band, the T6, at the end, I got a complete explanation. So if you want all the science behind what's going on, jump over to that review, take a look at it. It's really extensive. So how about some real-life data? I've spent about 4 days with a band, and I've got some really good data to show you. And the data you're about to see would be similar to, if not identical, from any of the supporting bands or watches that are professing to do ECG plus PPG measurement technology. They'll all be working with apps from this particular company. We're going to actually use the Go Heart app, which is where I have all the data on the band that I've used for collecting it. Roll to refresh, and there's my data so far for today. Let's dive into this. The sports shows you hour by hour against the bar graph with no measurements on the side, how many steps you've taken, your calories burned, and your mileage. If we look at yesterday, here was my distribution from midnight to midnight, and how many steps. And I go back another day, and I've got that. So that's some of the information that we get. If I show you on a weekly basis, you see the total weekly steps broken down by day, and total mileage and calories burned for the week or for the whole month. Interesting, huh? Okay. When we look at sleep, this is the sleep monitoring of the night before. So this is last night's sleep, 6 hours, 37 minutes, deep, light, and how long I stayed up, which I think was when I got up this morning, decided to lay back down and hold real still and pretend to be asleep. Shh, don't tell anybody. But I got some extra light sleep by pretending, holding my arm real still. But the awake was, getting up and moving around, getting some water, going to the bathroom, and then coming back and laying down for a little bit at about 7:02. But when I got up after that, I was up, and it logged it as 6.5 hours, and my sleep target of 82%, wanting 8 hours, and wake-up time 3. I have it on different days. Here's the night before. The night before that, I didn't wear it on purpose. And I don't have any erroneous time. This is a good check when you have a device to see whether or not you get bogus information when you're not even wearing it. And the night before is when I actually started wearing it. So I got 3 days out of 4. What's it look like weekly? Sure enough, I got the bar graph showing the hours and my average weekly sleep time and the time I stayed up intermittently between the time of going to sleep and waking up. And then, of course, there's a monthly. Again, my monthly average time. Really slick, huh? Okay. That's a sleep time. Then we get into here, and this is the, what did they call it? PPG-HR. Remember, this is optical, and this is heart rate, or pulse. So this is the last pulse rate display of the every hour that I'm accumulating my heart rate right now. And these are this is the information of the heart rate that it was able to detect from low to high and average, and my last night's sleep average heart rate. Yes, it was doing that while I was asleep. Yesterday, I took it off for a while. I did some really good exercise, I guess. Well, this says highest was 95. I have a day that I did more exercise, so let's look at that. Here we go, 102. Well, that was at midnight. Maybe it was like fumbling around. Sometimes you'll see an erroneous one pop up. You just got to kind of ignore it. The day before that is here, and then I think that's about it. No more data. Look at that. It doesn't just go back and show you 0. It knows that I didn't start until then. All right, I guess that day with 102 was my workout day. So that's this first screen, your steps, your sleeping, and your heart rate. Then you get to the brand new stuff. We've seen this briefly before in what you just watched. This is the accumulated data now. I have the calibration we went through, and then I can do a measurement directly here, or I can do it on the band, capture it there by clicking on the button that says ECG+PPG. And remember it said to the app? Well, believe it, you have to send it to the app. You have to sync it up after you take that data, because if you go and do another measurement, it wipes the other one out and puts in the new measurement in the watch. You have to transfer them one by one. I found that out. Don't think you can do 3 or 4 of them during your run on your watch by itself, and all of them will transfer to the phone. It won't, just the most recent one. So if you're going to do the readings of the ECG+PPG on the watch or on the band, make sure you transfer it to your phone before you do another one. This one doesn't matter because you're doing it right on the device itself. You just tap measurement, gives you the countdown, and you can collect the data right here. And what are we collecting? We're collecting the ECG heart rate now. This is different than the PPG one. And when you look in here, I haven't done it at all today, but if I go back to yesterday, these are my readings, 80, 65, 64. When you go into it, it talks a little bit about where you are in the heart rate under quiet conditions. All right? Doesn't change. So it's just kind of giving you a information sheet and your total up at the top. Not a lot of data there, so you could just work off of this if you wanted to. The ECG blood pressure, nothing today, but there's the ones from yesterday. And again, if I touch it, it tells me a little bit about systolic, low, ideal, high, and diastolic, and the chart under low pressure. And it gives me my readings, systolic and diastolic. And again, if I took another one, this hasn't changed, so this is information, but there's your data, which again you got right on the chart itself. However, the third button, this is the one that's your entire ECG. Way cool. This was the one, and I don't have any data again for today, but here's the 3 that I had that we just looked at from yesterday. And if I go into it, and I showed you this already, I can start the playback of that particular one, and over time, looping back on itself, you're seeing simultaneously the ECG reading and the PPG reading. Right? And it'll do that for the 30 seconds that it's accumulating. Or you can hit the health report, it generates it, and you get the chart. Now, I saw something that was like really interesting when we were doing the setup, and it said, ask you if you're wearing it on your left or your right arm, because it made a difference. It said that these little peaks that you see going up will be backwards or upside down if you don't wear it on the right arm. Well, Mr. Tix isn't Mr. Tix if he doesn't check that out, right? So, my first 2 readings of this day, I had the band that's on my left arm actually on my right arm, and I did the reading anyway. And sure enough, here's the report, and look at it. They're all upside down. How the heck did it know that? I have no idea, but it's getting the electrical signal, you know, from touching and the plates on the bottom and the top and the finger and all of that. Anyway, the electricity going through goes through backwards, upside down, when it's on the wrong arm. Now, if I would have said I'm wearing it on the right arm, it would have flipped the chart and everything would have been fine. So that's an interesting thing to note. Now, also, very curious about how does it work, because most of these have been sedentary. How does it work under stress conditions? So I go back over here, and you see the heart rate too fast? That's when I was working out. So I get different charts now when I'm moving. Now, to be fair, I didn't continue running and stuff and try to do it while I was running. I stopped. I held real still. I was breathing heavy, but I took the 30 seconds to accumulate the data, and this is what I get. Looks like a normal heartbeat, right? I mean, I'm not really looking for it to do anything weird. There's a little movement glitch, probably, a couple of places. But all in all, the chart looks good. But I imagine a healthcare professional, and I really wish I could pinch and zoom. But you know, I could just do a freeze frame of this and pinch and zoom it, right? Let's see if I can do that. Press my buttons. I love the LG G3 because all the buttons are right on the back. And I just press the top and bottom and it makes my screenshot. Let me bring that up for you. Here we go. Now you're just looking at the screenshot that I have of that page. But now we can really get in here. And this is what I'm talking about, folks. I am not a trained medical professional, but those of you who are, take a look at this. Is that giving you information that could be used in a way to help your client? I hope so. At least it's a movement in the right direction to where we're now able to calculate the heart rate by the time delay between these peaks, which appears to be much more accurate than the thump of the blood moving through the capillaries. This is electrical. It's really fast and it's right there. Plus, it's got all sorts of other information. You got all of your basic stuff here. And again, you can make this a PDF and share it. Send it to your doctor or whomever. This is my heart under light stress when I was getting a pulse rate somewhere on here of 105. Okay. Now we're back on the app. So if I go back, again, it's saying my heart rate was too fast as their assessment. And I take the second one just to show you for comparisons. There's another one that I did. Okay, get the feel for that. and I'm going to show you a nice calm one, just in case you're interested in seeing if there's a difference. Late at night, just before bed. There you go. Actually, it looked more regular to me when I was exercising. I wonder if that says something. I think I'll exercise more. Interesting. I gotta admit, this band and this technology has gotten me up off of my perch and out doing some great movement, and I'm going to stick with it. So that's a benefit in and of itself for a little $40 band. Amazing. All right. So what else have we got in here? Every day is captured. However many times you do it, it's not automatic. You have to do it manually. You can do it from the app, or you can do it from the band and make sure you transfer it. Now it's going back into days that I don't have any data whatsoever. So in this case, it will just keep going. It doesn't know when I got the band, actually. But when I actually do the measurements, they'll show up. The heart rate variability index seems to be just the latest reading. I'm not getting an HRV in the analysis of any of these. Are you seeing it anywhere? I don't think so. On the health report itself, it's got all of that, which is your basic stuff, and the average heart rate, the strip chart information, and the date and time. So the heart rate variability is an area that I think personally they could really improve upon, because there's a lot of meaningful information there. As I understand it, heart rate variability is the change in distance between each of those heartbeats. If there's a lot of variation, then you're under stress. And if it's very uniform, then you're calm. And there's a whole bunch of stuff related to heart math and other things that go into heart coherence. And I mean, it's a big deal. And it's really great for those dealing with wellness. So this is the first introduction of ECG in a wearable concept. Get ready to see much more expansion in heart rate variability. And that pretty much covers it. The care, again, I don't have friends, so I don't have anybody in here. But as I understand it, your data can be cross-shared with other people who either have the band or a similar one like you have, or maybe even just your relatives. You want grandma and teach her how to do the measurements? That's great. Perhaps this is where you can see her results by setting the app up and logging in and marrying it together, and grandma will show up as a friend. And then the last tab we've seen before is the overall settings of how you go through to work with the band, including setting your sleep target and your steps. That's an overview of the data supported for these ECG plus PPG devices. I want to mention to you, though, that both of them are using this revolutionary new TI, Texas Instruments, I believe, medical grade ECG chip. And that's the foundation of what's showing up in these new devices. We've got 2 of them on the market. I have more coming in. It's a whole new industry that's just opening up. And I don't doubt that you're going to start seeing these little metal plates as well as the little green diode showing up on all kinds of watches and bands in 2018. But for now, you've got the choices of the T6 and this brand new G20, available from Banggood. Check the show notes down below for a link and a discount. We'll see you again soon. Now let's check them both out together. Time display, steps, calories burned, distance, ECG+PPG. And here's our PPG only heart rate. Let's see how they compare together. Again, this is using the diode, not the electrodes. When they vibrate, it's complete. There they go. 69, both of them. How about blood pressure? Now notice that this is a little bit whiter, brighter screen This has been updated to the same type of screen. The newer versions of the T6 have that white screen as well. This again is the PPG version of the blood pressure, being taken with the diode and not with the electrodes. They match. Temperature, messages, find my device, the model number, and we're back to time.